All right, let's get on with the next section here. Let's look at the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula. Now, if you remember the last section we talked about was completing the square. So if you're looking at the standard formula, ax squared plus bx plus c, and it equals 0, okay? What if you kept this general and completed the square on this? So you do that first step that we talked about last time. You take that c over. So you got ax squared plus bx equals negative c, okay? Now you make sure that you force this a to be 1. So let's take an a out. Okay, so we're at this point here. Now, what do we put in right there? You know, what are we putting in right there? Well, we got to take that b term, which is actually b over a. We called that the b term. We take this b over a. We divide it by 2. So we go to the side and I say, okay, b over a divided by 2, or times it by a half, same thing. And then we square that thing, right? So we got b over 2a. So b over 2a quantity squared. So that's b over 2a quantity squared, which is b squared over 4a squared. So that's what I'm going to put in right here, b squared over 4a squared, okay? Now if I add that in, I got to add that to the other side, but remember, that is actually what we added in. So we didn't add b squared over 4a squared, we actually added ab squared over 4a squared, which reduces one of these a's cancels right here, a right there with one of those a's there. We actually added in b squared over 4a. So that's what I'm going to add in right here. B squared over 4a to make both sides equal. B squared over 4a. Okay? Alright, so we continue on with completing the square. The next thing we do here is we factor this, and this will factor into b x plus b over 2a times another x plus b over 2a. Okay, or in other words, x plus b over 2a quantity squared, right? And we still got our stuff over here, negative c plus b squared over 4a. Okay. Well, at this point, we got to get rid of that a in front. Let's go ahead and get rid of that by a, which means we're going to divide this whole side by a, or each term by a. Okay. So we got x plus b over 2a quantity squared equals negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. Okay, so far so good. All right, here at this point now, we're going to go ahead and square root both sides. Square root this perfect square here. Square root. So then we have x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus this square root of, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a common denominator for these two as well. So I'm going to get that to be common denominator. So I got 4a squared on both of those, okay? So you see how I have negative 4ac right there, plus this b squared, and I'm going to write that the other way around. B squared minus 4ac all over this 4a squared. Okay, let me move this down a little bit, extend this page. Okay, so I get b squared minus 4ac all over this, or the square root of all that all over 4a squared on that right hand side. So now all I got to do is subtract this b over 2a, both sides. So x equals negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of this top here is b squared minus 4ac. And notice you got the square root of this bottom. What's the square root of 4a squared? 2a. Okay, got a common denominator there. So x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? That is the quadratic formula, is what that's called. So anytime you are given, go back up here, anytime you're given a something in standard form, so we're matching that. So you have ax squared plus bx plus c, and you know a, b, c are going to be numbers, right? And it's set equal to 0. Now, instead of completing the square, you can just go straight to the quadratic formula, if you can remember that. And you plug in a, b, and c, where all those a, b's, and c's are in that formula. Okay, this is a formula you really want to memorize, and this is going to be horrendous, but I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this anyways. I'm going to sing you a little song of how you remember it. I think it's Pop Goes the Weasel. So here we go. Sorry, I do not sing. Sorry in advance. But here's how you can remember it. X equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I'm never going to live that down, but anyways, hopefully you never forget that. Let's move on here, and let's start. So that was the proof of the quadratic formula, or at least the derivation of that. Now let's use that. So let's use the quadratic formula to solve. Let's see what we got here. 3x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals 0. Well, if you notice, since it's already set equals 0, right, we didn't have to get one side equal to 0. A lines up with 3, B is negative 3, C is negative 5. So we can go ahead and say x equals negative b plus or minus square root of, you go ahead and sing that to yourself. You got that memorized now. There's your quadratic formula, and then you just plug it in from here. So we got negative, our b is a negative 3, plus minus square root. Again, our b is negative 3, it's squared. Plug in a is 3, so minus 4a, c is negative 5 here, all over 2 times our a, which is 3. Okay? Now we just keep working it. 3 plus minus square root, negative 3 squared, 9. And let's go, negative 4 times 3 is a negative 12. Negative 12 times a negative 5 is a positive 60 right there, all over 6. Okay? And of course we keep going. 3 plus minus square root of 69 all over 6. Hey, look at that 69. Let's see, factors of 69 are, let's see, 3. So nothing works. You're kind of stuck there. You can't simplify that square root of 69 anymore. So there's your two answers. You got that 3 plus square root of 69 all over 6, which is about 1.88. And then you got 3 minus root 69 all over 6, which is negative 0.88. Okay? Now, something to mention right here. You see this b squared minus 4ac? That is called your discriminant. Discriminant, okay? And you notice the discriminant ended up being 69, right? This discriminant ended up being 69, which is a positive number. Okay, if that is underneath there as a positive number, you're going to end up with two real solutions. Two real solutions, since b squared minus 4ac was a positive number. Okay, so that's something to mention right there. We'll do some more. So we just did an example of the quadratic formula and ended up giving you two